When I was 12 years old, there was a significant event that occurred in my family, and it led to my mom's arrest. And my family hired Stanley Tolliver as counsel for her. So I had the opportunity to meet him. And he escorted my sister and I, who was older, down to Payne. That's where the jail was. And he explained to us what was going on, and that if the justice system worked, he was going to bring my mom home to my sister and I. And he told us to look up, and there was a window, and we could see my mom's arm waving to us. She could see us, but we would not be able to see her. And very shortly thereafter, my mom came home to my sister and I because we were in jeopardy of going into foster care. And I decided on that day that I wanted to be a lawyer because someone who looked like me had helped my family and allowed us to move forward with life. And so at 12, I decided that that's what I wanted to be, a lawyer. And it didn't happen for me in the course of events, as most people would. Couldn't afford to go to college, none of that. I had to work my way through school, worked at UPS, worked as a maid at the Ramada Inn, would work and save up enough money for a quarter or two and go to school, and then I had to drop out and save some more in order to continue. Took me 7 years to obtain my undergraduate degree because that was the process that I had to go through. So of course it wasn't about going to law school. Couldn't afford that. I couldn't afford undergrad. And so I had obtained teaching certification and had 3 job offers, and so I taught. And then I began to coordinate and integrate law-related education into my classes. I taught social studies. So I taught history, government, civics, and was doing really well. And so I thought I found my niche. Went back and got a master's. And then in 1992, I was a part of a group of teachers, 10, selected to obtain a quasi-legal education at Cleveland Marshall College of Law. We were in this program. And after that year, I was just like, actually I think it was 91. I was like, I'm going to law school. And so I applied and got accepted and changed my whole family dynamics. Wrote a letter to Ford Motor Company, told them they had to change my husband's schedule because I was going to law school and I needed him home in the evening to place our kids on, to do their homework and attend conferences and take them to their activities, because I didn't want their life to change because I was changing. So I taught full-time at Cleveland Heights High School, coached the mock trial teams, and attended law school at night. We were 4th in the state one year in mock trials. And the rest is kind of history, in that I finally got an opportunity in 1998 to kind of see what this law degree was going to do. A friend of mine, the Honorable Judge Janet E. Burney, became the first African-American female to win a seat at the Cuyahoga County Juvenile Court. And she asked me to come and work with her. And so in a 2-week period of time, I gave up tenure as a teacher, 20 years, said goodbye, and transitioned to the legal field. And I was her bailiff and magistrate. And I did that for about 4.5 years. And then I struck out on my own. And I wound up in Bedford Court under the guise of another wonderful judge, Brian Melling, Bedford Municipal Court. Became a magistrate there, became a prosecutor for the city of Warrensville, prosecutor for the city of Bedford Heights, and began to think about becoming a judge. So in 2015, I ran for judge out in Bedford. And 4-way race, and I came in second and lost by 1,900 votes. And it was like, So I decided to run county. And I ran in 18 in a very difficult primary. There were 6 individuals in my primary. And emerged from that, and the rest is kind of history. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just so, even when I was a prosecutor in Bedford, that was important for individuals who came into that court. It didn't matter to them that I was the prosecutor. When they looked around, they did not see individuals who looked like them. And here I was in the front of the courtroom. And there were many times where there were defendants who looked and said, "Just good to see you." And it didn't matter that I was the prosecutor. There's just something about individuals who believe within themselves that they can see someone that looks like them, that there is some hope, and they can keep moving. Black History Month is very important because it's very reflective. It's reflective of where we've been and give us an opportunity of where we are and to look at where we're going. As I indicated, I previously taught history. And one of the things that we find is that the standard curriculum is devoid of many references to Black history once you get past slavery. And that's basically it. So when I taught in Warrensville, they actually had a separate Black history course, and I taught that as well. And I tried to bring in individuals from the outside, also for my students, so they could see individuals that they could begin to emulate and see as a role model and have some hope for the future. So I think it's very important. And we have to look back in order to look forward. Never, ever give up. Never. If you have a dream, even if it's delayed, just understand that it doesn't mean that it's denied. You may have to work harder than some other individuals to get there, but it is possible. So you can't ever get up. And continue to try to reach out to individuals who are in positions that can encourage you and inspire you, so that you know that there is hope and you can move on. This is a very dark place. And when I first got here, I said, it's dark. Rape, murder, kidnapping, multiple murders. But I just want to be a beacon of light. I just want people to be able to see, whether you're a victim or a defendant, that there is fairness here. And that's what I want to make sure that's conveyed at all times. When I first came here, I knew that was something I'd be interested in. As a matter of fact, I attended a staffing and even signed up to be on the committee for mental health. It's something that's very important in my family. I have a lot of experience on the other side with family members, so I know what it's like to stand before a court in many capacities, as a defense attorney, as a prosecutor, as well as simply a family member sitting in the back and having someone standing before the court. And there's a history of mental health issues in my family that we've had to deal with. And so having that other piece of experience, I think, is helpful. And then I have a son who's Down syndrome. So with regards to developmental disabilities, I say he was my first client because when we first discovered Donald's disability, well, Donald was born in 76, and the special education laws did not come into effect to 75. So when I was advocating for him, it was really, really new. And I advocated for him. And my son is very successful today. He still resides with my husband and I, but he works. And, I think we've done the best that we could for him. And so I have that issue too, or that experience as well. And I just felt that it was something that was pulling me there, and an opportunity became available. And so the train was still moving and I jumped on. I just, I think, would like to impart to individuals who don't understand the importance that they need to get involved. They just need to get a sense for what the African American experience is in this country, and still is. People think that we've come so far, but I think this past summer kind of showed us that in our own minds, we think we've made a lot of progress, But when you think of the last 50 years, when you think of Martin Luther King Jr. and what he indicated his dream was, we still have not reached it. 50 years, and we still have not reached it. We still have a lot of work to do, but I think it can be done. But we have to have people who are thoroughly engaged and ready and willing to do the work.